Let's go. Come on. Tonight, it's Live with Vince Elliott. Live with Vince Elliott. Tonight on Live with Vince Elliott, here to talk about real estate during a pandemic, it's real estate expert Paula Drummond. I got questions about investment, mortgages, and rent. Let's go. And keeping the show on track, co-host Erica Mack. Erica Mack. Who's the Mac? Let's get it. Yeah, you like that? Hey, it's Christmas time. You got to do some Christmas music. Welcome to Live with Vince Elliott. I am Vince Elliott, and
she is Erica Mack, and welcome back to another great Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a different vibe right now. We're going to go ahead and go with the Christmassy feel, Christmas music.
I really wasn't expecting that. That was
I switched it up on y'all.
Switched it up, oh my goodness.
Well, listen, I'm excited today, but before I get to telling you why I'm excited, Erica, I'm going to let you do what you do.
Oh, yeah. So welcome again, viewers. We'd like to remind you all to go and subscribe to The Vince Elliott. That is The Vince Elliott on YouTube. And also hit the share button, because sharing is caring. But not only is sharing is caring, that's the way that we get noticed and that viewers know that we're out there. So make sure that you're also liking and sharing the videos.
That's right. So I'm going to get right into it. Tonight, you really need to share and let your family know, let your friends know, anybody you care about know you need to tune in tonight. All you got to do is simply let them know, go to YouTube and go to Live with Vince, go to The Vince Elliott, or come to the Facebook page and share from the Facebook page. However you do it, call them on the phone, text them. We're talking about real estate. And I know some of you, as soon as you hear real estate, you say, I don't have no money to invest in real estate. No, we're talking about the gamut. We're talking about not only investing, we're talking about mortgages. Do you own a home? You got a mortgage? You got some type of, arrangement that you figure, man, I got to do something different? Or are you a renter and you got to, you hear about people saying that, hey, can they put you out? Do you know the laws in Michigan? Do you know the laws in Florida or wherever you are? So you're going to learn about that tonight from our expert tonight. Paula Drummond is here tonight to tell us everything she know. And if whatever she don't know, I don't know what we're going to do. But we're going to see how much she know. We're going to find out tonight. She's been in the game for quite a long time. I'll tell you more about her later. But anyway, Erica, how was your week?
My week was great. I did something interesting today that I haven't done in a long time. I went to the chiropractor. So that was
wow. That's what rich people do. Okay. I see how it is.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
I got to go back on Thursday, so I was really excited to go ahead and get that adjustment in. So.
And then you're going for your massage on tomorrow. Is that what you're doing? You're going to
I'm gonna go next week for that.
So you put the cucumbers on your eyes and all that kind of stuff. Is that how y'all do
good in Michigan?
Wow.
But yeah,
well, we got a full show for you guys tonight, so I'm not going to even belabor the point. Now, last week We tried to show you all, Lil V, and it really didn't work out that well. But we're going to show you that today, so stay tuned for that. But before we do that, y'all know what time it is. It's time for In Other News. And now for news you may or may not be able to use. News other than Trump, COVID, or civil unrest. It's In Other News. Live from one of our remote studios, it's news anchor Erica Mack.
Hey, welcome back to another edition of In Other News.
Come on with it.
So this week we have the global winner of the Teacher of the Year Award won $1 million and has decided to share it with his fellow nominees. So,
I'm sorry, what? He won $1 million doing what?
Being the Teacher of the Year. He's the global teacher. He won out of 12,000 applicants in 140 countries. He was the top winner. And the top winner won $1 million. And so in his kind gesture was to share it with those who were nominated with him. So each person will get just about like $55,000 each.
Oh, that is so nice.
That is wonderful.
Those other people, you said how many people? 12,000 people entered? Yeah. Those 11,999 other teachers are very lucky I didn't win as a teacher because they wouldn't have got diddly. I'm sorry, y'all wouldn't got jack.
It was only 10. Let me clarify that it was only 10 finalists. So
10 finalists.
So he shared it with the 10 finalists. So that
I
was
see.
Super awesome, and I think that was a great gesture.
And who was giving this money away?
Oh, that is a great question.
Oh, wow.
So I'm assuming that how it was described, or whoever the competition is, Reuters or somebody like that, the Global Teacher Prize. So I'm sure it's a whole bunch of sponsors that put it in a pot for that prize. So
well, these are the type of stories you're not going to hear blasted all over the news, So, but you hear them right here on Live with Vince Elliott. So we like to talk about the good stories, the weird stories, the whatever Erica comes up with. Sometimes she may make it up stories, I think, but that's for another.
The bear attack.
The bear attack when a guy swung on the bear. You told us about that, I think, last week or the week before. That was crazy.
That was true information there. The next story: California inmates raised $30,000 for a student in need, and this actually was on CNN. I think you had mentioned it. I didn't even realize that, but I really try not to go over stories that was on CNN. But I thought it was such a great story that these inmates thought enough of a student that was in partnership with their prison, who needed financial support with his tuition because his parents both had medical emergencies, and so he wasn't able to make the $1,200 payment every month that was due. So these inmates use their money and that they get from working within the prison and partner with some other people to help them raise $30,000 to help support his tuition. And so now that they've done that, they want to continue to have a scholarship for a student every year. But the great part about this story is that there was a partnership, more like a restorative practice type partnership, where the high schoolers would go in, because these inmates here are all considered to have lifelong
sentences.
Lifelong sentences. Yeah, it's like terms. Lifelong sentences. And so since they have lifelong sentences, and a lot of them can't read, so the students go in to help them learn how to read. And so that was their partnership. And I think that was just great for them to find a way to give back, even though they have this sentence.
Wow.
Awesome!
Yeah. I heard the story on CNN myself, and it's pretty interesting because they were talking about, how it might take them a whole week to make, like $5 or something like that. And so it's a huge sacrifice. So it's not always about how much you give, it's about how much of a sacrifice you make. And so These guys made some serious sacrifices. That puts a lot of us to shame who are out here. They came up with $30,000. That's huge. And it wasn't even, and they need education. They were putting it towards other people's education. That's what you call sowing a seed. Yeah, that's a huge seed.
And definitely, since you have this life sentence that says that, hey, why should you even care? And
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
So to be able to say, hey, yes, I messed up on the outside, but at least I can do something to redeem myself on the inside. And that's what restorative practice is about. So that's why that was it makes that story even more compound.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
I was telling you guys earlier about uh oh, I just had to get Christmas on you. I don't like that one. I think I want to go with this one right here. There we go. All right. So listen, I was telling you guys about Lil V.
that's our producer.
Yeah. We got Lil V is she likes that. Deidre's in the background. She loves this Christmas music. So we have Little V here today. And he's cutting up as usual. He cannot stand the quarantine. For those who don't know, Lil V is my alter ego. He's the one who's always trying to get me to do things that I should not do, eat the wrong things, say the wrong things, break quarantine and go out and all without a mask and all types of things. He just cuts up. So he's like that devil on the shoulder or that voice in my head, but you'll actually be able to see him. So today we've got like Lil V part 1 and part 2, and if you stick around, you'll catch the finale before the show is out. So without further ado, we're going to go to a promo and then Lil V, and we'll be right back right after this. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family. On behalf of myself and my crew here at Live with Vince Elliott, Erica Mack, my co-host, and Deidre, my super duper producer in the background holding it down, we want to say thank you and we appreciate all the support and love you've shown us in 2020. And we're going to continue to do that in 2021 in terms of giving you great content. We could not have done this without you. And so you see I got my coat on and my scarf. That's because I'm prepared to go outside in this cold Michigan weather and ring a bell with a bucket if I have to. But you know what? Salvation Army's already doing that. So why don't we do it this way? You can give to our Cash App, $ Live with Vince Elliott, 1L, 1T, route that money to the right place, and we will use it with integrity. We want to thank you for what you're going to do, what you've already done. We're going to continue in 2021 giving you information, education, inspiration, motivation, and yes, a few laughs, even if it means that I got to bring Lil V on the show. Who knows? He might make it on the show this year or maybe in 2021. We'll see. But we want to just, again, wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will see you on Tuesday, every Tuesday, the rest of this year and next year. Thank you once again. We appreciate you. We love you. Have a wonderful holiday.
Hey, Big Fella.
Oh, it's you.
I don't think we feel too good. I'm feeling kind of woozy.
We feel fine. You're just mad because I didn't put more sugar in that oatmeal.
I think I'm suffering from sugar deficiency disorder.
Go ahead on with that.
Oh. I can't even, I don't have enough energy to even do my dances. Oh, I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm going down. Oh, the action. Ow. This is the big one. I'm dying. There's no coming back for me. There's no coming back. You know, once you're dead, you're done. That's it.
Lil V? Man, are you all right?
I think you should call 911.
Okay, I'm calling 911. Hello, 911? Yeah, I need somebody over here quick. I don't know what's wrong with him. I think he's dying.
Well, what do we have here? Oh, my. This does not look good. Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
I am Dr. Do Very Little, and I am here to evaluate the patient. I see that his skin is discolored, his eyes are discolored, and he's due for a haircut. Okay, anyway, I digress. What is going on with this patient? It appears that there's a deficiency of some kind. Did this man crave sugar?
Yeah, all the time.
I see. And did you give it to him?
No.
Oh, not very good, not very good. And when he craved sugar, did he do a little dance? Like this?
Yeah, exactly, like that.
I see. Okay. And you not give it to him?
No.
Okay, okay. When he did not get your sugar, did he throw a fit, a tantrum?
Always.
Oh, I see, I see. It's easy to see, anybody can tell. This man is suffering from sugar deficiency disorder. That's it.
Suffering from what?
Sugar deficiency disorder. It's a thing. I'm a doctor, I should know. This man would have survived with more sugar. But it's all too late for that now, all too late. He's a goner. Goodbye. Oh, cash at me.
Oh, I'm sorry, little buddy. Oh, I should have listened to you. Oh, what have I done? Oh, my. Well, you know, I hate to come back with some pretty music, Christmas music after such a sad, dramatic, moment with Lil V, but
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I didn't realize not giving him sugar was going to take him down like that. We'll have to see what happens with Lil V when we go to our next break. So if you stick around, you'll find out what happens with Lil V after the break. So in the meantime, I'm going to cut the Christmas music and I'm going to bring in our guest for the night without further delay because I think we got to spend as much time as we can because this is information that affects everybody. So I think everybody's excited to hear what Paula Drummond has to say today. But first, let me tell you a little bit about it, just a little bit about it. I'm going to let her tell more if she wants to. But Paula Bell has worked as a mortgage loan officer for 23 years. She's a licensed real estate broker. She has been for 4 years. She's a board member of the Oakland Real Estate Investment Association, and she's been investing in real estate for 6 years as a landlord, a wholesaler, and flipping houses. So, hey, what more can we say? Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest tonight, Mrs. Paula Drummond.
Welcome.
Welcome to Live with Vince Elliott. This is your first time on the show.
Yeah, well, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we just don't let anybody on the show. You know what I'm saying? We just, we have to be very selective about who we let on Live with Vince Elliott. So we have had no one to this point come on and talk about real estate.
Oh, wow.
So you are the first one, and you are the expert, is what I've been telling everybody.
Expert.
So the
wow.
expert. That's right. That's right. So go ahead. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to
Introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
and our viewers will get ready to ask you questions and make comments.
Well, sometimes I feel like I'm kind of uninteresting, but you made me sound so great. I worked as a mortgage loan officer for 23 years. I worked at a lot of different places. I started off at Household Finance, which is no longer in business. And I know a lot of older people are familiar with HFC. And I went from there. I worked at Countrywide, Flagstar, different places. I kind of specialized in new homeowners, first-time home buyers, because it just gave me such joy to help a person buy that first home. I worked in what they call the CRA area of the banks, where you can, where they help people in low and moderate income areas. I pride myself on helping people to get their credit straight. I'll tell a person, I've had people come into my office and when they came in, they couldn't buy coffee on credit. But if they did what I asked them to do, then I can get them to the point of being able to purchase their home. And so I did that for 23 years. I had a mortgage company, and unfortunately I opened up during the mortgage crash, just before the mortgage crash. So I've kind of lost my hiney there, no fault for me, but it was just what was going on in the industry at that time. And I did it for a long time, and actually I stopped doing it because they wasn't having as much fun anymore. And so I was kind of steered over to the real estate investing portion of it. And once I started the real estate investing, I was like, wow, I've been doing this 23 years and there's a whole world out here that I never knew about. Because a lot of times we stick with the traditional forms of real estate, the things that we hear about in school or you talking to your cousin or whomever. And I just found out there was a whole world where there was so much more money there. Um, and I really do enjoy it. I just love real estate. Real estate has been my life. And I couldn't ask for a better career or area to work in.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So I'm so glad that you're here and that our viewers get to learn and grow and share information from here. But let's just jump right in it and let's let's find out. So in this market today, what have you seen that individuals or companies are suffering or finding it hard to deal with when it comes to their mortgage or their lease?
Well, what I'm seeing right now, I'll start with the home buyer portion of it. Right now is a great time to buy. I know that the interest rates are very low. It's historically low.
Mm.
Right now is a time, you're able to buy more house, and because you could afford you could afford the payment because the interest rates are so low. They have loosened up on some of the restrictions that they used to have, so they're lending more, but they are tightening up just a little bit because of the pandemic. They want to make sure or try not to end up having another mortgage crash, I would
Yeah.
say. Um, so if you're looking to buy, right now is a great time to do it. If you haven't refinanced your home, I would say go ahead and get that taken care of because you could save a couple $100 a month on your payment depending on what you had. Because some people thought that 4% was a great interest rate, and it was. But now you can get like less than three, depending on what your credit rating is and things of that nature. And it could save you a lot of money over the term of the loan. And so, just on the personal, I'm looking to go ahead and refinance and shorten the term and then lower the payment. So I would say right now is a great time to do that. I'm finding that people who are not looking for fixer uppers, they want a house that they could just move in ready. Um, it's a great time for that because you have investors who have been, you know, fixing up houses or flipping houses, people who are looking to sell and move up or whatnot. And because of the interest rates, it's a really great time. I
Well,
do know that.
oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, I know she also asked me what kind of programs or what kind of help is out there. Is that where you were going, or did you have a question about what I just asked?
Well, I
Well,
wasn't
this
going there just yet. I was just asking like where can they start? And so we could get more on the type of programs as we progress in the conversation. But
So,
and,
just
and,
like where they start.
a
and
person
C
who's looking.
Taylor, yeah, C Taylor was asking the same question you're answering right now. She says, I own my house and want to buy houses for extra income or investment properties. I've been told it's not a good idea. So please advise. And you were already speaking to that.
That it's not a great idea to buy rental property.
No, you were saying that it's a good time to buy, if I understood you correctly.
Yeah, it's a great time to buy. I heard like two questions. She said she owns her home, but she was looking for income property, and
Yeah,
someone was saying that it's not a good time to do that. Is
that's what
that
she
what I
was
understand?
told. That's what
That
she was
was.
told. Yeah.
I would say that it is a great time to do that. It's always a great time to do that. It's just making sure that you buy right. So, in terms of, I hear a lot of people who, I would say over the 23 years, I helped a lot of people become rich, because they were, coming to me for my services, my information, my help, and I wasn't using the information that I was giving out.
Mm.
A lot of times you hear people who complain or they say, being a landlord is hard. I don't want to deal with those people in my house. Those Section 8 people, they're going to tear your house up, and these people will move in and tear your stuff up, and
Hmm.
then you out of all this money. What I would say is there is a lot of education out there, but it's just a non-traditional way to get it. People are not aware of how to educate themselves. So I would say that a person can make a lot of money in real estate and they can make it fast sometimes if they come across the right deal. However, you can also lose a lot of money in real estate if you don't know what you're doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I had this lady and she kind of had two people, if you know, I don't want to take too long, but I had two women who kind of really stood out to me. And it was a young lady who asked that question. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had that mindset that it's going to be a headache to own property because people are going to break the toilet, people are going to do this and that and the other. And so I had two women who were very, very impactful for me. One lady, I won't give her name, but I'm sure that she's gone home to be with the Lord now. Um, and she came in, she didn't even have a high school education. She had an eighth grade education. She told me she started out working in a laundry. She bought a two-family flat because she had her kids. She was a single mom at that time, during a time when there weren't really a lot of single moms. And so she bought a two-family flat. She lived downstairs and she rented out the upstairs.
Yeah.
So then she was able to get her house for free because she didn't have to pay the rent. The renters were taking care of the house payment. So that worked out well for her. She didn't have a lot of money, but she had extra money coming in. So she said her children were getting older, and so they needed more space. So she bought another house and she rented out the upstairs and the downstairs. She didn't sell it. So now she had more money coming in. So she was like, I'm onto something here. And so she just kept working and kept working. And she bought a house and just one at a time, fixed it up, rented it out. By the time I met this lady, she was much older. She had 32 houses.
Wow.
She said that she loved being a homeowner, or being a landlord because it allowed her to have time with her children. She managed her own properties, and I'll tell you some of the tips of that a little bit later. But it gave her time. She didn't have to have her kids in daycare. She's able to raise her own kids as a result of that. By the time I met her, she was saying, I'm getting older. I don't know if I want to continue to do this. So she was selling her houses. She was selling at the height of the market at the time. So all of her houses were selling over 100,000 or close to 100,000. Most of her houses were in Detroit. So by the time she got finished selling her houses, she was a multimillionaire. She was also, before she sold it, she was an asset millionaire.
Yeah.
After she sold it, she was a millionaire. And she was able to leave an inheritance for her children and her children's children.
That's how you do it.
So it's like that's something that people don't really think about. They think about the headache, and then thinking about the headache, I had another person who came in, and she just really convinced me because I've said she had these houses and people weren't paying. It was during the mortgage crash. Just trying to get over that hump. And so she was working for people and whatnot. And I was like, I just said, I could be such a headache, to have had a property and deal with people not paying. I'm talking all this ignorant stuff, right? Or what I learned was ignorant. So she told me, she looked at me, she said, you know what was a headache? She said, I work for the state of Michigan. I had to get up every day to go to work, rain or shine, to sit down and work with people I didn't like. When I went on vacation, they told me how much vacation I could take. So I go down south and visit my family, and then I have to come back because they told me I had to come back. That's a headache.
Yeah, you pushing my buttons now because listen, I've seen this on Facebook or some social media, but I've heard it before that, and they say I'd rather work 80 hours for myself than 40 hours for somebody else. Because that peace of mind is nothing like it.
But you know what? If you do it right, you're not going to work that many hours. I can honestly say for the rental properties that I have, that in the beginning it was some work because I bought fixer-uppers. I was blessed to come across excellent deals. So during the time when I'm fixing them up to bring from nothing to something, there's a lot of effort there. Okay. But, I keep my nails done. I do all that stuff. I don't paint. I don't do any of that. I go and I hire people to do it and just find the best deals, to do it. But I can say that during this pandemic, where I haven't been feeling like doing as much, I haven't been wanting to expose myself to COVID, going from all these different houses or whatnot, I've been able to collect rent and be able to sit at home.
Wow. So listen, real quick, I'll just jump in and say, if you're just joining us, we're with Paula Drummond. She has been involved in real estate in one form or another for many years, from doing mortgages for other companies, corporations, from that to owning her own properties and renting those out, flipping them. And also she is a licensed broker. And so she's sharing her wisdom with us. If you have any questions or comments that you want to put in the chat, by all means, go ahead and do that. and we will try to get those questions answered or respond to those comments as quickly as we can. Erica.
Well, I was gonna just piggyback off of your last statement. You said that you're able to collect rent. So I wanted to know how has that been for you, considering the pandemic, one, and then two, like the state mandates to say, hey, renters, you don't have to pay your rent, but yet you as the owner could possibly have a mortgage on the property or things like that. So have you found that you have a lot of renters who can't pay, or just there was just a few or none?
I have been very blessed. I haven't had any like that. I think that a lot of times people don't establish the right relationship in the beginning. So meaning that you have to vet your people properly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to let anybody, move in to my home
Yeah.
because that's my asset. And so I'm going to do all my due diligence in the beginning on the front end to do everything I could do to ensure that they're going to be a good tenant,
Yeah.
that they're going to pay. That and so some of the things I look at is you have to treat it like a business. So the people who rent from me, if they call me, they know I'm going to be there as quickly as possible. You're not going to sit around and wait and wait and wait, because this is a win-win situation. I
Yeah.
expect you to pay your rent on time, and so if something goes wrong, you should expect me to respond in a timely manner. So a lot of times, if you want to be a slumlord, then I would say don't do it. you know, um, I have been I've been blessed in that. I'm very, very particular. I have like little quirky things that probably people say, what? I've had I've had real estate friends that didn't really understand the method to the madness. So I'll give you one, for example. If you come to rent my house and you look at it and you like it, and we're talking and we're vibing, I'm trying to get a feel you out, and I ask you to bring me 4 paycheck stubs, your W-2 from last year. I want to see your recent bank statement to see if you actually make it and you're not bringing me something crazy, because I want to see your direct deposits should you have it. Certain things that I ask you for. If you
Yeah.
if you forget one thing, I am not renting to you.
What? One thing?
If I ask you to bring me 30 days of
Wow.
paycheck stubs, I say, do you get paid every week or every 2 weeks?
Hmm.
They say I get paid every week. Okay, I'd like you to bring me your last 4 paycheck stubs. If you bring me 3 paycheck stubs, I'm not going to rent to you.
Oh, come on!
Ask me why.
Why?
That's your best foot forward.
Yeah, I
That's
get it.
your very best foot forward. And so if you can forget to bring 3 paycheck stubs when I ask you for 4, you're gonna forget to pay your rent. You're gonna
Mm.
have some type of excuse to do that.
Yes. And that's
Oh
understandable.
man!
That's absolutely
It's just, those
understandable.
those are my viewers. I guess they try and find a way to get in there.
So it's kind of like, so you have to, like, and because my properties are in Detroit, let's face it, a lot of people in
Yeah.
Detroit look like, the credit may not be good. They might have had some situations, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times you find people who will pay their rent on time. They may not pay Capital One, but they're going to make sure they have a roof over their head.
Mhm.
Yes.
So you kind of have to gauge, some things. And so far, I've been able to do a great job in that. I praise God. I thank you. I thank Him for that. But there are programs available, because I do know that right now they have a rent moratorium going on. They've held
Yes.
up all their, your people they're not foreclosing right now as a
Right.
result of it. So there is help available for both the renters as well as the landlords. There's some nonprofit agencies out here where the money is going through them, and you can contact them to get some assistance.
Yes.
Right now, I know they have one. I have to pull out my sexy specs because Casey,
Ooh.
Casey, uh, there is an organization called the Wayne Metro Community Action Agency, and they are helping. They're helping renters, and they're working together with the renters and the homeowners or the landlords of the homes.
Yes.
What they are asking is that they want the landlord to give up some, I would say. I don't know how I feel about that. And because the landlords have bills too. But they're asking that they cut the rent back by 10% and not charge the late fees. And then they step in, and then they'll pay the rent to help that person to get caught up. But you have to go. And I was told I have a girlfriend who actually has had to use that agency, and she said it works best if the landlord and the tenant go in together, submit the paperwork together, and then that way it can get processed quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But they do ask you, it's not a free pass. They want to know if you can pay. Are you working every day? Are you working some part-time? Are you just not paying? Are you getting unemployment?
Right.
They want you to pay your part. So it's not, be able to live for free type of situation.
So as far as you know, right now, there's nothing in place. I don't know if you know about nationwide, but there's nothing in place where you can just not pay your rent. I mean, I know that they're not allowing people to get kicked out.
Right, but you will be.
You are responsible for it, yeah.
Exactly.
When they lift it, it's on and popping in.
There's going to be some evictions. There's going to be some judgments. And so I say, do the right thing. There's I know people who they have the income, but they're looking at this as a free ride.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, even if it's free for you, it's not free for the person whose home you're living in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they have bills just like you have bills.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but when you do things like that, it comes back eventually. But you want to just be able to do all that you could do to not end up in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say it like that. There's also another organization called the United Housing Coalition. And these are local. These are here in Michigan that are helping. And if you're listening and you're somewhere else, in the state, in the country, if you Google or just look up eviction diversion programs, they'll be able to direct you to programs that are in your area. So if you need help, there's help out there. If you don't need help, pay your rent.
Just do the right thing.
That's it, right?
Well,
Pay your fare.
and listen, we're in the season of giving, so make sure you give what you owe. Giving doesn't always mean give, what you just to help somebody. You give and help the people you owe. There you go.
Exactly.
So, well, listen, we're going to take a short break. In the meantime, I just want to give some shout outs to some of our viewers. Frank Carroll says he loves the subject matter and that she's speaking true. I know Frank is an investor himself, and he does very well. And I'm sure he may have some comments to add, or maybe some questions to throw out there to stimulate the conversation. And what's up to Tiffany Hayes and Stephanie Hayes? They're always tuning in and supporting the show. We're going to be right back. We're going to just take a short break. And if you missed it earlier, you're going to have to go back and watch on YouTube and check the archives, because Lil V was here earlier, and he claimed that he's suffering from sugar deficiency disorder, and he passed out, and a doctor came in, and he was a Cash App doctor. I don't know if he was legit, but he came in and said, listen, this guy has sugar deficiency order. And so, it looked like it was the end for him. So we're going to watch, right after this promo, we're going to watch the end to find out what happens with Lil V. So stay tuned. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family. On behalf of myself and my crew here live with Vince Elliott, Erica Mack, my co-host, and Deidre, my super duper producer in the background holding it down, we want to say thank you, and we appreciate all the support and love you've shown us in 2020. And we're going to continue to do that in 2021 in terms of giving you great content. We could not have done this without you. And so you see I got my coat on and my scarf. That's because I'm prepared to go outside in this cold Michigan weather and ring a bell with a bucket if I have to. But you know what? Salvation Army's already doing that. So why don't we do it this way? You can give to our Cash App, $ Live with Vince Elliott, 1L1T, route that money to the right place, and we will use it with integrity. We want to thank you for what you're going to do, what you've already done. We're going to continue in 2021 giving you information, education, inspiration, motivation, and yes, a few laughs, even if it means that I got to bring Lil V on the show. Who knows? He might make it on the show this year or maybe in 2021. We'll see. But we want to just, again, wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will see you on Tuesday, every Tuesday, the rest of this year and next year. Thank you once again. We appreciate you. We love you. Have a wonderful holiday.
So you really miss me?
What?
It's okay.
I can't believe you would do that to me.
Oh, come on. It was just a simple little prank.
You trying to trick me?
I was just joking.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I saw you tearing up a little bit when you thought of me. Oh, no, little me.
I'm done, man.
Oh, let bygones be bygones. Hey, got an idea. Let's go outside.
No.
Come on!
How'd you get over there? What are you doing?
I want to go outside in the rain. It may sound crazy,
It's not even raining.
but I wanna go outside in the rain.
It's not even raining.
Let's go outside.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not happening.
Outside.
Whatever.
Okay, here's the thing. If I don't get out soon, I'm gonna break out on my own. Now, is that what you want? You wanna try to make it on your own without me? Okay, because I will break out and leave you. I don't wanna do it. But I will leave you. I gotta get out. This quarantine thing is too much. I gotta get out.
What? How'd you get over there?
Later, sucker!
Where you going?
You can't tell me what to do.
Hey, come back here.
When he craved sugar, did he do a little dance? Like this? I wanna go outside in the rain. It may sound crazy.
That does sound crazy. Ladies and gentlemen,
Right.
I'm no longer even going to apologize for Lil V. He is who he is. And, just got to get used to him. But anyway, welcome back to Live with Vince Elliott. I am Vince Elliott, and she is...
Oh, it's Erica. Erica back.
Yeah, that's who she is. Listen, if you just joined us, like I like to say, shame on you. You're going to have to go back and watch everything that you missed. We are on with Paula Drummond today. She is a real estate expert, and she is telling us all about how this pandemic and this quarantine is affecting the real estate market, whether you're an investor, whether you have a mortgage, whether you're a renter, whatever your situation is, this real estate market has to have some form of impact on you, good or bad or neutral. It's affecting everybody. Anyway, so we're going to get right back into it, and we're going to talk about what's going on with these mortgages. So if you got any questions, feel free to go ahead and pull up. We'll pull up the chat here. I'm looking at some comments and questions in there right now. And we want to hear from you. What you got to say, Eric?
Absolutely. I want to go ahead. I want to get right into. I'm back into it. I wanted to ask. I see Frank Carroll here actually popped that question in, asking about first-time home buyers here in Michigan. Do you know of any institutes that offer first-time home buyer programs in Michigan? And I also want to piggyback with that is there a new minimum for down payments for first-time home buyers or just home buyers in general?
For the bank, you want to know what the banks are doing right now for first-time home buyers? They have quite a few programs. They even have programs where they're giving out down payment assistance up to $15,000. You just have to talk to the different banks. You maybe start off with whoever you bank with to ask what kind of programs they're offering. Also, one of the programs that I think is a really good program for first-time home buyers is FHA loan. With the FHA loans, you have to have 3.5% down. So typically, I would tell a person to have 6% of whatever you need to get the loan closed. There's a lot of flexibility there because the seller can pay your closing cost. There's a lot of flexibility. The interest rates are low. You won't get caught up in any type of adjustable rate mortgages or things like that. And also, they will allow you to be able to get along with the lower credit score. So I know the last I heard it was like you could be able to get in with as low as 580, but you have to have certain things, meet certain criteria to get it. Like having a certain number of credit lines that you have open and been paying up for a year, making sure that if you're renting, you've been paying on time and can be able to prove that. So there are different criteria there, but I would say with the FHA loan, that probably would be the best one.
And then are there any programs for those who have gone through this pandemic and quarantine and their income has been affected and now the credit score has been negatively affected? What's out there for those folks?
I would say take time to work on your credit. And that's something that a lot of times I think because we're in such a microwave society, we want everything the day before yesterday. We don't want to put the work in. I think part of the reason why the mortgage crash happened is because the loans were so easy to get. They could hold a mirror up to just hold a mirror up to their breathing. We'll give them the money. So but they would give you loans that were not the best loan for you. But if you had a lot of people had to just taken a year to say, okay, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm gonna take some time. I'm gonna do it. I was Miss Bill at the time. I'll do what Paula said do. And then depending on how severe it was, okay, I'll be able to buy my home in a lot of times less than a year. But a lot of times what people were doing is they would say, okay, my cousin, this loan officer over here did it. So after a while, I'm like, okay, well, you still gonna have to work on your credit because this interest rate is only gonna last. This high interest rate is only gonna last for 2 to 3 years, and then it's gonna go higher. But if you just take the time to do the things that's necessary, those same people could have gotten an FHA loan in less than a year a lot of times and had a fixed interest rate, so they would not have had to worry about their payments going from $700 to $1,500.
That's what a balloon mortgage is what it's called? Okay.
Yeah, so with a balloon mortgage, it'll stay a certain amount. It's called an adjustable rate mortgage. So it'll stay the same for a certain period of time. And then based on your contract, because they were different, then your payment will go up because the interest rate increased.
Well, if it's adjustable, why can't it adjust in my favor? Why can't it adjust down? Why it always got to go up? That's why they call it a balloon in the first place.
Because they want their money. They need to make their money. But in all actuality, if you just take the time to invest that time in yourself, so that way you can be able to get the best program available.
Well, what kind of credit score should I be shooting for? Everybody should be shooting for.
Well, you want your credit score as high as possible.
Well, I mean, if I can't get a 900 or 1,000, I mean, what is the FHAs and all these different programs?
I would say to try to shoot for at least a 620.
Okay.
That's
at least
low.
a 620.
Yeah, that is pretty low. That's not bad.
But you could do better than that. But it just you need to work with someone who can tell you how to get there, because a lot of times people don't know what you don't know. And so and a lot of times people talk to people who don't know, but they sound like they know. Talk to someone who really can help you to get to where you're trying to get to.
So if they want to talk to you, what do they need to do?
Well, they can contact me. I gave you my number, the number that I want them to call. What is the number? The 923. Give me my phone number.
No, you gave us your email at paula.d.
Yeah,
and the phone number.
See, when we did rehearsal, you said you wanted them to have the email.
I want them to call my answering service, and they get it direct, and it comes directly to me with what I need. So when I call you back, I'll have an answer for you.
Well, I got a super duper producer and holding it down in the background. Deidre, she is standing by and ready. So if you got the number, she'll have it on the screen before you can finish saying the number twice. That's how she rolled.
It was in your email, but I get it. And I should know my own phone number, right? But I don't want people calling me on my cell number. I'll give you this one. 3 months.
Make sure it's the
It's
one.
the right one.
All right.
It's
Because
good.
I got, in Jesus' name, I got a gazillion people watching. Now that phone gonna blow up. So I'm calling them. I'm calling them in. I got 2 billion people watching, coming on in. So you better be careful what you give them.
I'll make sure I give you the right one. Yeah.
All right. Well, you can give it to us later in the show.
I will.
I want to get back to the content and get these questions answered. So we talked about the renters. We talked about mortgages. We did touch on investments. It's a great time to buy. What would you recommend as a great starting point? I mean, the average Joe, going through the quarantine, that average Joe might not have, $20,000 saved up. So what do I need to do in terms of making a plan? Say, for example, I want to buy my first property. What's the first, do I just start saving money? I mean, what options do I have?
I would say first thing you need to do is make sure your credit is good. And then make sure you have at least 6% of however much you want to buy. I would say go to, talk to a loan officer so they can get you qualified to see what you actually qualify for.
Okay. And I do that before I save the money? Or
no, well, I would say start saving your money first. Okay. But I would say, but you know what? Actually, I would say talk to your loan officer first because they can tell you what you need to do and how much you actually qualify for, so you know how much you need to save. But right now, you should be, if you know that you want to purchase a home, you need to start getting in the habit of having money set aside anyway. So I would say talk to your loan officer first to see what you qualify for. See if you're there yet. See if there's something that you need to work on. Start there.
Now, if let's say you're renting and you know that, you're gonna have to move on a certain date, how far in advance should you be preparing home?
I know right now they're so overwhelmed with the number of mortgage requests. They're taking a little bit longer to get the loans closed just because of the sheer volume. So if I would say plan at least 6 months in advance, so that way you know what you need to do. And if you're fairly certain that, okay, my credit is good, I just I got a couple of dollars, I'm gonna wait till I get my tax return, then kind of look at those type of things. But give yourself a little bit of time. Don't wait to the last minute because they may not be able to get your loan processed for you in time. They're just really overwhelmed right now.
I got one more question. I'm gonna let Erica get a question in. I want to know. So there was a window in time, and I don't know if it still exists, where they was just giving away houses. I mean, you get a house for $500. I mean, is that still going on?
Nope. But there are still some really great deals out there. It was like during the mortgage crash and right afterwards, and I feel like I missed out on something because I caught it like on the tail end of stuff. In terms of that era, in terms of the purchase prices and things of that nature. But there's always good deals out there. You just have to look for them. And and that's some of the things I wanted to talk about is how to find the good deals. If you are looking, especially if you're an investor, if you're looking to say, okay, I have a house, I have a place to live, but I do want some additional property. Some of the places one of the places I really like is the Wayne County tax auction. Now they didn't have one this year, but they're going to have one next year. They didn't have it because of the pandemic. They didn't want to. They knew people were going to be struggling financially, and I really like what Eric Sabri and some of the other counties are doing in terms of trying not to take everyone's houses because they couldn't afford to pay. And they're even working with people, as I digress a little bit, if you're behind on your taxes, you still need to go down there and talk to somebody. You can't hide from the problem because the problem is only going to get bigger. As time goes on. A lot of times people hide from the problem. They don't want to call the mortgage company. They don't want to go down to the county. They, kind of sit with their eyes like this and think it's going to go away, and it doesn't.
When you do that, you mean they can still see you when you do that?
Yeah, they can still see you.
Okay.
They can still see that.
When you was a kid, you like this. You're like, you can't see me. I'm in the corner.
It doesn't work that way. So you do have to make sure you stay in communication if you're currently a homeowner. Some of the places I've had great success is the tax auction. I go to the foreclosure auctions. I do what's called wholesaling, where actually seek out people or look for people who are in situations where they may want to sell their home.
Yeah.
Um, I've had people who I had one person who was had a person who was like in a domestic violence situation, and she was just looking to get out. Just give me my money, so give me enough so I can get out. I had another person. They just didn't want to do the repairs that needed to be done on the house, because the city of Detroit now is requiring that they bring the house up to a certain code and pass inspections now. So they're like, I don't want to deal with that. So there are people out there who do want to deal with that.
Now, you want people to contact you in regards to what? Buying property, an advisor? What do you want people to contact you for?
Okay, what I do now is I buy investment property.
Okay.
And I flip. I know I'm a licensed broker. I'm not the person to take you around. I'm not getting in my car and meet you places and take. I don't want to do that. Okay.
What?
I don't do, but I do have some great referrals, so you can call me for a referral. I have people who do an excellent job at that. But if you have a situation where you have a home that you want to sell, then call me. Say if you have multiple properties, then give me a call for that. And just trying to get rid of it. One of the things is it's kind of sad, and I don't want to sound like a vulture. My daughter, she's a millennial. And she's saying that she's waiting for the crash to happen after the pandemic, so she could buy a house for $4.50. Right? And so I don't, and I'm not an economist, but I just kind of look at what's going on right now. And so there are going to be a lot of opportunity to buy property, and I'll tell you why. And if some of it is sad, don't look at me as a vulture. Don't send me hate emails or none of that. I'm just telling you the reality of what it is as an investor. Okay. So far in this country, we've had close to 300,000 people die already, right, as a result of COVID. And they're anticipating at least another 200,000 more before the virus actually the vaccine is actually become effective, right? A lot of those people are homeowners that passed away. And as a result of that, if they're homeowners, if they had a mortgage, they may end up in a foreclosure situation. If the home is free and clear, so if their parents were older, you have, all the kids have their own property. So do they really want mom and dad's property if their parents have passed already? So, and now they're going to want to actually fix the house up, because you go to your grandma's house. A lot of times, it's a lot of love in there, and you love grandma's house, but when everything is out, it's really outdated.
Well, if you look at it in a different perspective, you're really helping some people. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, just like funeral homes, when people die, somebody has to bury them. And the fact that you provide a service and you get compensated for, there's no shame in that. And so just like, people have passed on, we had nothing to do with that they passed on, but some of those people have properties and they have families that want to do something, sell those properties, and somebody's going to buy them. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. You also have the situation where there's jobs that are not coming back.
Right.
And that's going to put some people in a position where there'll be more foreclosures. It's sad, but it's still true. So in terms of an investor, there's going to be more opportunity, to help, and I'm not going to say it's more opportunity to help them because you're actually able to help them out of a situation. Right. If a person if things have gone too far and the mortgage company is not willing to work with you, if you have equity in the house, you could sell that house to someone else for a good deal and move on.
I know what. I got an idea.
What's that?
If you're a person that don't like to wear your mask and you walking around, I'm gonna befriend you because you on the risky list. I want to find out if you own a home.
I'm a super genius.
Yes. Okay. Well, listen, we are running out of time. We have enjoyed you, and we never have enough time to give all the information and answer all the questions. but they have your name and your number on the screen, and they can reach out to you for, if they're looking to sell a home, or maybe if they want to partner with you, if they got a sweet deal and they need somebody with a little more muscle to work a deal with them, you'd be willing to talk to them about that, I would imagine. Yeah.
And also, if you need a good referral, if you need a referral to a real estate agent or a loan officer, 'cause I don't do that part anymore. I have great partners that I can refer you to.
Okay,
They're
and then
almost as good as me.
okay, and then make sure when you call her, you say, "Listen, I heard you on Live with Vince Elliott, and I want to do some business with you." And then you guys do $1 million deal, and you cut me in because you heard it on Live with Vince Elliott show, and then we give Erica a couple dollars to get a Happy Meal, and we all good.
We'll all have. If you could just take us all to dinner after that.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have the information on the screen. Thank you for viewing us. I'm seeing your comments saying great show. That was some great information. We appreciate you. We want you to hang out just for a moment and backstage, and we're going to talk to you in a moment. But Eric and I are going to close out the show. And thank you for being here. Is there anything else you want to say to our viewers before you go?
So just Merry Christmas, be safe, social distance, wash your hands, wear your mask up so we can get over this nonsense.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We may have to have you back on the show, later on in 2021. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well. I mean, it seemed like the show was 15 minutes. I mean, what is the deal, Erica?
Right. And what did we do? We talked about a lot of information. So definitely you gotta do a deep dive if that's what you want. You're really serious about investing and getting, more information on not just investing, but mortgages and things like that. Do your deep dive and do your homework. She used that cuss word, diligence.
Yeah.
So.
I've come to the realization that, and I've come to accept that we're not going to be able to exhaustively talk about any topic on the show. Even when we were going an hour and a half long, we still weren't getting there. So we want to give you enough information to have you reach out to our guest or to, pick up the ball from there and run. And maybe you already know a lot about the subject we're talking about. You might pick up a few nuggets or even contribute to the conversation to be able to help other viewers out who are looking for that information. So yeah, great show. Great job.
They give you just enough for you to go do the homework.
Yeah. So just as a reminder, guys, you can still share this show with your family and friends. Also, if you're watching on the replay, thank you for watching. And if you missed part of the show, please go back and watch it. Go to YouTube and you'll see all the archive shows on there. It is, you want to search for The Vince Elliott. You'll see me laughing with a hat on, my head back. And you can see all the shows we've been doing since the end of May 2020, all the way up and through today. You'll see all the little V's and everything that you missed earlier in the show. A little V, something else. So yeah, that's about it. I just want to remind everybody to support the show. This is what we love to do. We love to be able to give out great information. We thank you guys who supported us through 2020. We're going to need your continued support going through 2021. In fact, since you're in the giving mood, go to Cash App, $ Live with Vince Elliott. There's one L and one T in Elliott. And I know that y'all in the Christmas spirit, and you guys are going to give mightily. We like to say that no amount is too small, but we really like to stress that no amount is too big. So go ahead, you feel warm and fuzzy and you want to write that. No, don't write the check. Just go to the Cash App and go ahead and send that $200-$300. And for those of you rich folks like Erica, just go ahead and send $1,000, and we'll be good. And we will be able to do what we do. So, Erica, that's all I got. This Cash App information not only is on the screen now, but it will be on the screen on our closing page. So be on the lookout for that. And I'm going to be looking for those Cash Apps to come in tonight. Even those of you who are putting in $5, but especially looking out for those of you putting in $100 and $200. Thank you. Erica, you got the last word.
And that's right. Thanks again for joining us for another rendition of the Vince Elliott. Remember that we're nothing without God, and this show is definitely nothing without you. So make sure that you subscribe and click on your notification for next Tuesday for 7:55 return. Thank you and have a great evening.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.